Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. I hope you are doing well. And as you would be knowing that IRDAI Phase 2 exam is approaching and descriptive writing is a major challenge for many of the aspirants. Now keeping this thing in mind, in this video we are going to talk about a broad strategy that you can follow as a part of your preparation, and we are going to talk about certain do's and don'ts that are going to add value to your descriptive writing process. So first of all, this is a rule sheet and a similar type of sheet you are going to get in the real examination also. So as you would be knowing that unlike other exams like RBI and NABARD where you have to type the answer, in case of IRDAI you get this rule sheet and you have to write your answer using the pen and paper. Fine. So since you are writing your answer using pen and paper, you have more liberty, more flexibility to make your answer more organized in a better manner, in an enhanced manner. And we are going to talk about it later on, but this is just an overview what you are going to get in the examination. Now, if you talk about the answer blueprint, this is something that I discuss in all of my sessions when we talk about answer writing process. So you have to divide your answer into introduction, the body and the conclusion. Now I understand that the word limit with respect to IRDI is a bit different from what we follow in RBI and NABARD. But the same strategy is going to be followed, that whatever the word limit is, you just have to dedicate 10 to 12% of the total word limit for the introduction, and the same rule for the conclusion also. And as I usually say that rest of the word limit should be dedicated to the body part, where you will write your body in the form of heading, subheadings and the different form of flowcharts also. Yes, you have to draw flowcharts because they are going to be very helpful for you as far as the answer writing is concerned, and we are going to talk about it later on. Fine, but this is just an answer blueprint that I want you to follow. Now, if you talk about the steps with respect to answer writing practice, the way you have to practice on a day-to-day basis, the first and foremost priority should be understanding the demand of the question. And how you can do that? Of course, you can do that by identifying the keywords that are mentioned in the question. That will help you to write the answer in the most precise manner without beating around the bush. For example, if we talk about this question discuss the technology role of technology in enhancing the regulatory capabilities of IRDI and managing the insurance sector. So you don't have to talk on anything that is unnecessary, that is not asked as a part of the question. You have to clearly identify the keywords in a very conscious manner, in a well aware manner, that the first keyword is the technology, then the second keyword is the regulatory capabilities, the third keyword is in the insurance sector. Fine, with respect to of course the IRDI. So you have to be very well aware while reading the question, because I've seen many students that first they read the question, and once they will write the introduction or the body part, they will write something that is very random and does not align as far as the relevancy of the question is concerned. So it is very important that you think about it, you try to understand the demand of the question. Fine. So this should be your first and foremost priority, the easiest part, but I would say the most important part also. Now let us move on to the second part, which is basically the introduction. Now you should also try to think about various type of introduction when you are reading the question, depending on the context of the question, depending on the type of the question. So four possible type of introduction you can choose to write. For example, you can write database introduction. If you have certain kind of data, for example from IRDA annual report, you must have collected some data, we have talked about it in the previous video also. Then you can write some definition based introduction also, if the question is clearly asking some sort of definition, or if the question is there, statement is there, and if there is some technical word, you can choose to define that word also. So here you can start definition based introduction. Then you can also write introduction with respect to recent context. If you are aware about a current happening that was there in the news, you can write it as a part of the introduction. And lastly, you can talk about the quote or the real life example also as a part of it. So depending on the context of the question, you can choose to write different forms of introduction. What is the purpose why I'm sharing it with you? Because I want you to be aware. That is the main purpose. It should not be that you are for each and every question you are just writing the definition only or the data only. You should be aware that I can use the combination of data and the definition. I can use the combination of definition and the recent context. The all the options should be aware to you, so that you can very in a very clear manner you can choose the most relevant form of introduction for your answer. Fine. So that is the idea. Now once you are done with the introduction part, you are writing the introduction, the second priority is the body. If you talk about the body part, the first and foremost priority should be that once you have understood the question, with the help of keywords. Now you have to make sure that in the body part you are addressing all the parts of the question. What I have seen with many of the students, that they will write some sort of general answer because they are not focusing a lot on the keywords. For example, there was a question in the examination, what is environmental management, and discuss the social and economic aspects of environment management. There was a question, I think we had given it in the mock test paper in NABARD. Now what many students did, they explained what is environment management, and now they are writing some general aspects of environment management. But what the question is asking, question is asking social aspects and the economic aspects, which many of the students missed. So are they going to get the marks in the examination? The answer is a clear cut no. They are not going to score high in the exam. So this is something should be a learning for you, that please try to understand the question and address all its components. Next thing is regarding the flow charts. Flow charts are going to be very helpful for you. If you talk about your answer sheet, you can draw different type of flow charts. For example, if you want to represent different type of stakeholders regarding something in your answer, what you can do, you can just draw a circle, and here you can draw different arrows, and whatever stakeholders or whatever keywords that you want to write as a part of your answer, you can write like 1 in a very concise manner, 2 that keyword, 3 that keyword, 4 and 5. So this is how you can write it. It is going to save your time as far as the exam is concerned. Apart from that, let us say you want to write some sort of list, so you can write like this, xyz whatever it is, and you want to enlist something, you can just draw this flowchart 1 2 3 4 5, and just point to point answer you can write. Do not try to over elaborate things. This is the most important tip I can give you in order to save your time. People think that if they will over elaborate something, that is something even not necessary, so they will be getting some kind of advantage. Let me tell you that is going to be disadvantages for you, because if you will spend your time in a lot of this, over elaborative things, so eventually what will happen, you won't be able to finish your paper on time. So it is very important that you are as try to be as precise as possible. Or let us say if you want to categorize something, so you can write your main keyword over here, and you can draw a flowchart like this, and you can categorize something. So different combination of flowcharts can be there that you can use in your own creative manner, and depending on that you can make your answer more organized. So for the first advantage is that your answer will be more organized, and the second thing is that it will also help you to save your time. Fine. So that is the idea that you can follow as a part of your strategy, and I want you to think about it. I want you to apply it in your answers. Then try to add value to your answer using the stats, example, case studies and whatnot. Try your best to make your answer as specific as possible. Do not write generalist answer in your exam, because everybody is going to write such answers, so you are not going to get any sort of competitive edge in the exam. Then try to use the subheading, because subheadings indicate the clarity of thought that you have in your mind, and they make your answer more organized. Then make sure that whatever headings or subheadings you are using, they are conveying your idea properly. Do not just write simple one word heading. Try to be a bit elaborative. I mean, try to convey your idea in a precise manner, so that when the examiner reads your heading, he does not have to put a lot of efforts while reading the explanation also. Once the heading has been read, then the examiner should get an idea that okay, this is what this aspirant want to convey, this is the value addition, and he will give you the marks. Then there should be the connection between problems and solution. I've seen a lot of answer where students will write the challenges, but there is no connection when they will write the solution of those challenges. Solutions are random and the challenges are not related to the solutions. So this is something that you should try to avoid. At least if you're writing a list of challenges, then at least out of 5 out of 3 points with respect to the solution should be aligned with your problems. 2 points are okay if you want to write something here and there or extra, it is okay, but try to write at least 3 out of 5 points related to the points that you have mentioned in the problems or the challenges. Fine. So there should be a connection between the problem and the solution. Last is try to cover the multiple type of dimensions. Don't make your answers sound very much monotonous. So try to be multidimensional. That is going to help you in gathering more marks. Fine. So these are the different tips that I can give you regarding the body, and I want you to inculcate these things, whatever works for you, as a part of your answer writing process. Then the next is the conclusion. Now regarding conclusion, I have a very scientific method for you. Without wasting a lot of time, I'm going to be as precise as possible. So basically what you can do, you can write any conclusion for any type of answer by dividing the conclusion into three parts. Fine. Firstly, you are going to write the conclusion starter, then a supporting sentence, and lastly the closing sentence. What is a conclusion starter? Basically, in this, you rephrase the thesis statement. Thesis statement means whatever statement has been given as a part of your question. So basically, if I summarize it, conclusion starter basically means where you take a stand with respect to the question. You are taking a stand, you are taking some sense of authority, whether I agree or disagree to that fact or not. Now in the examination, do not write that I agree or I disagree. Don't use just language, but the point that you want to make is you are rephrasing the thesis. Let me tell you with the help of an example, you will get a better clarity. For example, the question is, discuss the role of technology in enhancing the regulatory capabilities of IRDAI in managing the insurance sector. The same question that we discussed earlier. Now how you can write the conclusion starter? You can write like, you can take a certain stand that I agree. You don't write I agree, but just try to take a certain type of stand that you agree or disagree with the statement. So you can write like, the application of technology has transformed. So what you are doing positively, this is a type of positive statement. You are agreeing with the thesis that is mentioned in the question, that the application of technology had transformed the regulatory landscape of IRDAI, reinforcing its ability to oversee and manage the dynamic insurance. So you are agreeing that yes, the technology is enhancing the regulatory capabilities. So what you are doing, you are freshly rephrasing the thesis. Then what you can do, you can write a supporting sentence. Supporting sentence is nothing, it is just a why of the conclusion starter. Here you have taken the stand. Now you are telling why you have taken the stand. Why do you think so that the application of technology has transformed the landscape of IRDAI? So you are going to give a very short, a very summarized type of explanation that the integration of technology allows IRDAI to streamline the regulatory processes, improve data accuracy, and enhance the compliance monitoring. So what you are saying that because of these reasons, I agree that technology has transformed the regulatory landscape of IRDAI. Lastly, what do we have? We have a closing sentence where usually you write some kind of way forward, something that is or that you write on a positive note, something that is futuristic, also sort of positive note you write as a part of the closing sentence. So what you can write, as technology continues to evolve, IRDAI, what they can do as a part of way forward, it could further strengthen its regulatory framework by adopting cutting edge tools like AI and blockchain. What is this? This is a futuristic approach, a type of way forward you can write as a part of a conclusion. So I hope this scientific method is clear to you: the starter, the supporter, and the closing end. Fine. So this is how you can write your conclusion for any sort of question that you get in the examination. You will become better once you practice it on a day-to-day basis. Now, few myths that would be there in your mind, that is content everything? The answer is no. I do agree with the fact that content is very important, extremely important for the exam. Content is king, but content is not everything. You have to focus on, apart from content, you have to focus on other factors also. For example, the spelling and grammatical errors, the typing speed, the word limit also. You have to focus on value addition, and lastly, the structuring and linking of answers. So with content, you have to give the same amount of priority to these parameters also in order to write good answers in the examination. Now some cheat codes for your answer. So I mean, for answer writing, for the first and foremost thing that you can do, before starting your answer, try to create an outline. I always say this. For example, if you have, let us say, 7 minutes to write an answer, so dedicate at least 30 seconds to draw the outline, and you will naturally get it through practice. In the outline, you will decide, yes, this is going, I'm going to write in the introduction, I'm going to write in the body, this is something I will write in the conclusion. Why I'm saying so? Because unlike the RBI and NABARD exam, where you have the scope, where you have to type the answers, here you have to write it. And once you have committed the error, now you don't have liberty to cut everything, to delete everything, because it is going to make your answer look untidy, and also it is going to waste your time. You will not be able to finish your paper. Fine. So it is very important that dedicate at least 30 seconds to generate an outline, that so and so I'm going to write. Afterwards, what you can do, you can start with your answer and you can begin it. Fine, you can just finish it, you can go with the flow, and there will be less scope of making errors in the answer. So this is the purpose of creating a rough outline. Then prepare ready-made introduction and conclusion. This is something I always say for certain topics, especially those that are very much static in nature. What you can do, you can create some ready-made introduction and conclusion. You can create some ready-made definition. This is something how I'm going to define this thing, then this is how I'm going to conclude this thing. Certain type of combination you can create. Then try to add value to your response, that is value addition. I've discussed it multiple times. Try to add some data, some facts, some examples as a part of it. Suppose you want to talk about the benefits of health insurance, to try to mention about some scenario, the name of the health insurance company, that was there in the news. You can talk about the example in order to add value to your answer. Lastly, the proofreading. Save some time at the end for the proofreading in order to check some kind of error, some kind of I would say if you want to add something else, or you have made some grammatical or spelling mistake, you can always have this reserve time, proofreading time, in order to fix those mistakes. And now the last minute tips for your examination. So on a day-to-day basis, try to write at least 2 answers a day. In the initial phase, please try to write at least 2 answers a day, and once you are comfortable, increase it to 3, then increase it to 4, then increase it to 5. Later on, what you can do, once you are comfortable with that, if you are following our study plan also that we discussed in the previous video, what you can do, you have to give some mock test so that you are comfortable with the word limit or time limit. Because trust me, what happens in the examination, if you do not give the mock test, what is going to happen, when you will go to the exam, you will be having a lot of information. Now since you don't know the respect that you have to give to the time, you are not able to prioritize the information in the examination. What you will do for the initial first 5 questions, what you will do, you will write everything, whatever you know. You will say I'm going to write a perfect answer, because you have not practiced enough. Somebody who has practiced enough, what he will do, he will give equal priority to all the question. He will only write what is relevant. He will be able to manage his time. So mock test is very very important. It's my humble request, please give at least 1 to 2 mock test papers. आप एक दो भी दे दोगे, आपको पूरी क्लैरिटी मिल जाएगी कि मुझे और ज्यादा इसके आगे मुझे कुछ देने हैं या नहीं. तो अगर आप कर पा रहे हो सब कुछ तो ठीक है, अगर उसमें से आप टाइम पे नहीं कर पा रहे हो पेपर फिनिश, यू विल गेट अ क्लैरिटी दैट आई हैव टू गिव मोर मॉक टेस्ट. बट प्लीज ट्राई टू गिव एटलीस्ट मिनिमम 1 to 2 मॉक टेस्ट फॉर एग्जामिनेशन. 1 तो हटा ही दो, एटलीस्ट ट्राई टू गिव 2 मॉक टेस्ट. फाइन. नाउ प्रैक्टिस फॉर क्वेश्चन विद डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ वर्ड limit. For example, based on the PYQs, we have seen that the question have been asked for 250 words, for the 80 words also, for the 100 words also. So you should know that within how much space I'm taking to write a 250 word question, then how much time I'm taking to write a 250 word question. Similarly for 80 word and 100 word. अब आप 80 word and 100 word वाले question को same time में नहीं लिख सकते, because 80 words को आपको कम time में लिखना है, 100 words को आपको कम time में लिखना है. Fine. So this is something that you have to decide depending on your speed, and वो कैसे आएगा, it will come with practice. Once you will practice 2 answers every day, mock test every day, you should be very well aware about your strength and weakness, your writing speed and all such sort of things. Fine. Now try to attempt all the questions in the examination. Some students have this mindset कि 10 question आ रही हैं, so I'm going to write 7 to 8 questions. This is my target. I'm going to write perfect 7 to 8 questions. I would say that instead of writing outstanding 7 to 8 questions, try to write 10 above average questions. You will be able to achieve more marks. Fine. So don't try to focus on perfection. Your goal should be to attempt all the questions in the examination, whatever question is there, and this is going to help in gathering more marks. Fine. Last is focus on your handwriting also. Some students have a very bad handwriting. It is very difficult to read, and my handwriting is also not good. But the matter of fact is that please try to make your handwriting as legible as possible. And legible का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आपको calligraphic type बहुत ज़्यादा flowery language लिखनी है. That is not the case. It should be readable. Fine. So once you have written the answer, you can give it to a friend also, and you can ask him to read your answer. If he is able to read comfortably or not, then you will be getting the feedback. So make sure that your handwriting is legible. ऐसे ऐसे कुछ करके मत लिखे आना. At least fast भी लिख रहे हो तो ऐसा लिखो कि एग्जामिनर पढ़ पाए उसे comfortably, उसे एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट्स ना डालने पड़े सिर्फ आपके हैंडराइटिंग पढ़ने के लिए. ठीक है. So this because this is not going to create a good impression of your answer. So I hope it is clear to you. So now we are done with the session, and I hope it was helpful for you. If you have any more questions, or if you have any feedback, so what you can do, either you can email us or you can write it in the comment box that what type of more videos you want us to bring. If you have any query, you can ask us in the comment box, and we would love to address all your queries. So that is it from my side. Thank you so much, and all the best for your examination. We will keep on bringing such informative videos.